All right, so today, like the title says, you are the magic pill. We're going to be talking about how to break the cycles that sabotage your success. Anybody having success they feel gets sabotaged?
Yes.
Okay. A little bit. You want to go first? What do they need to know about you?
Well, I always start with, I haven't always looked like this. Sometimes it's hard to believe when you see somebody's after photos all the time, and it's been 13 years now, maybe 14 years now since I started my journey, but I was once very unhealthy, very sick, very unfit, I will say unfit, overweight for my very petite size. And oh gosh, I don't even, it would take all day to even try to go through the story, but I'll just
summarize in just 23 seconds.
One day I'll write a book called Breakups Make Bodybuilders. So thank God for the bad relationship I got out of that led me to where I am today.
And for me, I lived the typical American family guy
dad life,
right? Get a job. I was fit when I was young, got a job, sat at a desk all day, ate bad food, got overweight, had health issues, gut issues, IBS, self-image problems, issues, challenges, things like that, and then realized that something needed to change. I had to either accept where I was or make something happen to be in a different place. How many of you, anybody had that crossroads point where they just said something has to change?
Yes.
Right? Some of you don't realize it yet, but you're not there yet.
Woo!
And we're gonna talk about that today.
And this is why they asked us to go first.
Everybody needs to get to that crossroad point, that decision point where things just cannot continue the way they are. And we've both been in that spot. So that's a little bit. We've both been doing this for a long time. We've been coaching for, gosh, over a decade. How long have you been coaching? 27? Okay, almost a decade.
7 or 8 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we are really passionate, in case you haven't heard, about the mindset aspect of this. One of the things that you're going to pick up through this talk is that the nutrition is easy, the fitness is easy.
And many of you think that's the hard part.
That's not the hard part. The hard part is how you're thinking about it and your ability to do it consistently for as long as it takes. Yeah. That's the hard part. Figuring out what works for you and sticking to it. Okay? All right. Let's see what's next. Finding out what works for you. Overthinking. You have a thing for this.
Okay, so this was adapted from our Arizona chat about a few months ago, thanks to Michelle and Jen Winkler. We called that Pitfalls and Power-Ups because it was all about, okay, what are the things that you are doing that are holding you back? And then what do you need to switch that to see success? And so we didn't have a presentation for that one. So this time we have a little visual help.
Did it show?
We went a little off the cuff. So the first thing that you may be doing that is holding you back is overanalyzing everything, overthinking everything. And what does that equal? Lack of action.
Yeah. How many of you love listening to all the science behind keto? How is that actually helping you hit your macros every day? How is that actually helping you go to the gym and do a workout? So the idea of the overthinking is we think that because we're thinking about something, we're trying to understand it at a deeper level, that we're making progress. Can you make progress in your brain, or do you have to actually take steps? Right? Can I get an amen? Oh, by the way, we love feedback. So if we say something that hits, clap, scream, jump up and down, whatever. Joe, especially you. Okay? So definitely you, Chris. All right, so the idea of always having to get the best answer for something before you can take action is really something that keeps people from making progress. Because the only way to know if something is the right answer is to actually try it. Because who other than you knows what's best for you.
Amen.
Right?
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if we come on and say we think this is the thing that everyone should do, or if Dr. Boz, or if Two Crazy Ketos, or Dr. Lenskis, or Dr. Tro, or any of those people come on and say this is the coolest, best thing. If it doesn't work for you, you're not going to know that because you never tried it.
You're going to hear a lot of differing opinions this week from these people on this very stage and on the panels. You're going to hear conflicting advice. You need to learn to apply things to your context.
Yeah.
And that is our biggest platform. You are not the person sitting next to you. You're unique individuals, and what will work and be best for one person is not going to be best for the next person. So if you find yourself in analysis paralysis, looking for more information about the best way to do something before you take that step, take the messy step forward.
The messy steps matter.
And there we have that. Take action.
This is the other side of the coin.
I love how you said that. Take the messy step forward. The messy step is often the best step because that's how you learn from something. Right? How many people learned how to ride a bike and never fell down the first time? Right? I love the juggling analogy. If I want to learn how to juggle, am I going to start with 3 chainsaws? Or am I going to start with a couple little bouncy balls and figure out how to do 2 or 3 balls before I start jumping to one-legged chainsaw and bowling pins, right? You got to start somewhere. And a lot of us are waiting to be perfect before we even get started. Mm-hmm. Right? Here's another analogy that I really, really love. Do you have to be saved to go to church?
Right.
Woo.
A lot of people are waiting to be redeemed before they even show up.
That's why you're there.
That's why you're there. You're not there because you're already perfect. You're there because you're trying to become better. And you can't become better if you don't start when you're not better.
Yeah.
Right? So take action.
And the same thing goes if you're working with a coach, a program, you join a group. I see a lot of hiding, a lot of afraid to be imperfect, a lot of afraid to be vulnerable. That's why you joined the group. That's why you got the coach. That's why you invested. You are wasting your investment if you don't show up messy, show up imperfect. That's how you get better.
Yeah. How many of you have joined a program or a coach or a community and then you're afraid to share what's going on with you? It's okay. We all do it. All right. Address that. Think about that. Why did I join this group that is about giving me support, but then I'm not sharing when I need support? Like she said, you're wasting your investment. You're wasting your time. If you're not using the tools that are available to you, there's no shame in asking for help. None at all. We can't do it by ourselves.
That's why we're all here, right?
That's right.
Right?
All right. What do we got next?
A blank screen. No. Majoring in the minors. This kind of goes back to the overthinking, but it's also where are you putting your focus? Are you focusing on things that actually help you take action? Or are you focusing on things that help you feel like you're making progress, even though you're not?
So explain to them, why do we have a flooded living room in the image?
I didn't even notice that was there. She made the slides.
I'm the
She did the slides.
expert.
Yes. So if you guys have, I don't know if it was in my last book or the one before.
It was a coffee talk. On the coffee talk.
Yeah. The idea that the problems that we're facing from our health perspective, the challenges that we have in living our best lives, being physically free and independent, have a root cause. There's a root cause of something that's going on that's beyond weight loss, that's beyond whatever it is that we're focused on in many cases. We spend so much time focusing on the symptom of the problem and not fixing the problem. Right? Weight loss is the classic example. Everybody starts a diet, everybody starts a fitness program because they want to lose weight. And anything that you do specifically focused on weight loss is always going to bring you back to trying to lose weight because it's not sustainable. If you have a bathroom or a living room in this picture, if you have a bathroom that's full of water because the tub is overflowing, you can never get the faucet to turn off. It's always leaking. And you're spending days and hours and weeks and years mopping up that water in the bathtub, in the bathroom. And you're switching from a mop to a bucket to towels to a wet vac, and you're going back and forth. You're trying all these different protocols and methods and tools and challenges and groups and coaches and reading all these books and trying to figure it out, but you just can't get the bathroom cleaned up. That's what many people are doing with their health. And they're not focusing on the one thing. And here's the key. It's obvious, but you don't want to admit it. There's one thing, there's one or two things that you're not doing that will solve the root of the problem, and then you never have to worry about a flooded bathroom again.
Most of the time, we're avoiding the elephant in the room. You know what you need to be focusing on. And you are looking for the magic pill. That's why we called this, You Are the Magic Pill. You're looking for the magic pill that is going to magically fix the problem. And it's usually a protocol of some kind. It's something, the perfect macros, the perfect program, the perfect this, the perfect that, something outside of myself that's going to fix it all. And most of the time there is a habit, there is a mindset, emotional issue you are not addressing that is the root, that is the leaky faucet, and that hurts too much. It hurts too much to look at that. It hurts too much to deal with that. So all these other things, they sound exciting and they sound fun and some of them sound easy because, well, all the marketing is telling you how easy it's gonna make it for you. Guaranteed weight loss. I saw that today on somebody's social media. Guaranteed weight loss. Oh, sign me up. I'm getting a guarantee. This time it's gonna work. Not if you keep avoiding the flood.
Yep. Does that make sense?
So,
oh my gosh, that's a big rock.
Instead of mopping up the floor, move the big rocks first.
Move the big rocks. Or you could say low-hanging fruit.
Yes,
what are those things that you know? How many of you have something in your head right now? One or two things that you know, if you really wanted to make progress, this is the two things that you should really focus on first. But you came here hoping to hear something different. Right?
Tell us what we want to hear.
I'll tell you what it is for me, because I've got to start a competition prep when we get home, and it is cardio.
No.
I do not like doing cardio, but do you know what gets me results every single time? When I start doing cardio, when I start getting up in the morning and moving my body first before I get into my day. When I stop putting it off because, oh, it's so cozy and comfy with my coffee and my PJs in the morning. That's so much more comforting, but life begins outside of your comfort zone. If you're comfortable, there's a problem.
Yeah, comfort and change don't go well together. How many of you thought, oh, she's got to do more cardio, maybe I should do more cardio?
Oh, that's the answer?
That's the answer, right? And that's the thought process I want to keep you guys aware of through the rest of this week. Just because we say something up here, this is what we're focusing on or what we're doing or what we've seen our patients or clients do, we're not saying that's what you need. We don't know anything about anybody in this room, right? We're giving information. You have to critically evaluate the context of who we are, what we're saying, and does it match you? That's the key to walking away from this week with something you can actually use. Right? Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
I'll let you handle this one. This is all up your alley.
If I could have one platform, I would just ask everyone to stop saying, I'm an all or nothing person. I'm either all in or all out. I can't just do it a little bit. It has to be everything or it's got to be nothing. First of all, I'm just going to back up and say, if you say anything about who you are, I am ... There is no more powerful, heavy statement that you can make besides whatever comes after I am. You better be careful with what you say next. Because who you say you are, your brain will believe.
Your brain doesn't know the difference.
100%.
So I am, pay attention this week. Try to catch the number of times you say, well, I'm just not a morning person.
Or I'm not. I am or I am not, right? I'm not a morning person. I'm not a workout person. I'm not a gym person, right? I'm not an abstainer. I'm a moderator.
I'm not a moderator.
I'm not a moderator. I'm an abstainer. I'm an all or nothing. I'm all of those different things. The power of identity is everything. Stress comes from living a reality that is not real, right? Living in opposition of your identity. If you identify as this, but you're living this, you're going to have stress in your life.
Has anyone here ever stopped smoking? Been a smoker and then stopped smoking?
I didn't know you used to smoke.
When you were smoking, you identified as a smoker, didn't you? And when you changed that identity, I am no longer a smoker. That was what I did, but it wasn't who I am. Every client I've had who's given up alcohol or who has stopped smoking has said, when they made the connection that I could do the same thing with my food, I can stop saying that I can't control myself around
Well, can we say the big one?
XYZ. Go ahead.
Can we say the big one?
Yeah.
I am a carb addict. How many people have said that?
I can't help myself. I can't control myself. You are giving your power away.
Every time you say that, you are reinforcing addiction. Because you are giving the power to that, not taking it for yourself. You have to change who you are and start believing and acting and doing the things that that person does. The phrase, who's heard the phrase, fake it till you make it, right? That is all about establishing the person you want to be and then doing the things that that person does. If you do those things, you become that person, right?
Yeah, you don't have to wait for the weight loss.
You don't have to wait. You can start now.
Let me just make this clear. There is no one who was more all or nothing than me. If you were on the low carb cruise in 2022, you heard me share my rock bottom moment. It still to this day gives me a gut-wrenching, visceral feeling when I think back to that moment, and I will never go back there. That person believed she was all or nothing. That person believed she was not a moderator. And that person binged beyond anything you can imagine and then purged multiple times a day because of that belief system. I had a little bit, so now I have to have all of it. Oh, well, now that I've done that, I have to get rid of it. That was the thought process. All or nothing. I did this, now I have to fix it. Now I have to go to the extreme and do something on the extreme to fix it. And I lived that day in and day out. It's exhausting. I never believed I could ever moderate. Ask Bronson what I brought home from Costco a few months ago. Bags of nuts.
Nuts, yeah. They lasted a lot longer than I thought they would.
I never thought, back then I was petrified. I couldn't keep anything delicious beyond real food. I mean, nuts are real food too, but beyond eggs and meat and at the time vegetables. And I couldn't have it in my house because I couldn't control myself.
Straight jacket.
Hey, I'm a moderator now. Stop telling yourself what's not possible. And I'll just add this caveat before we move on. That doesn't mean that today, in the midst of your addiction, because I was addicted when I was bulimic, that now is the time to try to start moderating with all of your trigger foods. That's not the process. I can tell you the process another day, but it's not quick and it's not simple. It's a long journey.
Yeah.
But do not sell yourself short and tell yourself you cannot be something.
And let me just add the other part of this, which we can talk about on the next slide.
Next slide. Yeah.
Right? Is take baby steps.
Anybody remember that movie?
Yes.
That is my favorite scene ever when he's getting on the elevator. Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps.
The extremes that we see people go through a lot have to do with, I'm not doing anything, I'm going to do 75 hard. I'm not doing anything, I'm going to start OMAD. I'm not doing anything, I'm going to work out 5 days a week. I'm not doing anything, I'm going to do 75 hard and do OMAD and start keto.
And carnivore and lion diet.
Anybody, I'm sure we've all kind of been at least tempted to say, hey, I'm going to do this extreme thing. We talk about getting outside your comfort zone. And if you picture the comfort zone as a circle, many people are starting at one end inside that circle and running as fast and as hard as they can across the circle and trying to jump and get as far away from their comfort zone as possible, thinking that the more extreme I am and the further outside my comfort zone I get, the more success I'm going to have. And that never works. Success comes from walking to the edge of your comfort zone and taking one step over the line.
Put the pinky toe over, just the pinky toe.
One step over the line, and then live there until your comfort zone expands around you. And then take another step outside the line, and then live there until that comfort zone expands around you. You cannot force your comfort zone. It has to go with your growth. And we don't grow overnight. How many people wish we could grow overnight and we could just get where we want to be? Guess what, guys? It's going to take you a while. It's going to take you longer if you keep trying to go further outside your comfort zone than you're able to adapt.
If you think about it, it's like a rubber band. When you're trying to go all that way, what happens? And then the rubber band snaps back and you end up 10 steps behind where you were before.
Yeah, it's the balloon. Have you guys heard the balloon analogy for comfort zone? Right? You blow up a balloon. If you blow it up really fast, how big does it get? If you take it out of the bag and just blow it up, it gets to a certain size, right? What if you take it out and then you stretch it and you pull it and you kind of move it around in your hands and you expand it before you even put a ton of pressure on it? And then when you blow it up, what happens? It gets a lot bigger, doesn't it? If you take your time and you work it, you'll have more capacity. A lot of you are trying to go in there and blow it up really fast and then it pops or it doesn't get as far as you think it's going to go.
I think a lot of the time what happens is we see how bad it's gotten and now we're in a rush. It took you a while to get where you are now or where you were when you started. It took your whole life to get there. What makes you think you're going to change it overnight? All of a sudden you're in a rush. Take your time. In the Keto Bikini Academy, we have a motto: slow is a pace. Slow and steady wins the race.
I said it last night, slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yeah.
Right? So that goes towards trying to rush things. How many people look for shortcuts?
Oh boy.
Right? This is a big one.
Everybody's looking for shortcuts.
Right? Shortcuts are supposed to, and this is just a mindset reframe that I want to give everybody, and then we'll move on, because we could do a whole nother 2 hours just on this topic.
Yeah.
Shortcuts are supposed to be, by definition, something that gets you where you want to go faster. How many of you have ever experienced a shortcut on your health journey getting you where you want to go faster? Right? A couple of people put their hands up. That's good. It's also the same kind of mindset around cheating. Okay? What does a cheat do? If I'm in school and I cheat, what is it supposed to do?
Give you an advantage.
Give me a better grade. Right? If I'm cheating, if this is a test and my goal, my grade is how healthy do I get, How is cheating helping me get there? Right? And we like to make excuses and justifications for why I need to do this, why I need to do that. I need carbs for this. I need this for that. There's health benefits to wine, right?
Boy.
All of the different scientific reasons that we get for doing things to benefit, biohack our way to functional health. Right? And this is one of the traps. This is really where the context cues come in. There's a ton of tools that can be used. There's a ton of biohacks and mechanisms in the human body that can be targeted and activated that can do all sorts of amazing things. If you don't have the basics of fitness, nutrition, and mindset around how you utilize any one of those tools, how sustainable is it going to be? How many times do you have to go back to the beginning and start over again? It doesn't matter what it is. And we're going to talk about a lot of them this week. GLP-1s is one, right? There's a lot of use cases. There's a lot of people that are using them well, and there's a lot of people that are using them not so well. But it's not about the GLP-1s. It's not about the peptides. It's not about the any of the other things that you hear about or see. It's not about the red light therapy. It's not about the cold plunges. It's about, why am I looking at these things? How do I plan on using it to make me get progress that I'm looking for? And am I able to sustain it for the rest of my life? Those are the questions. If the goal is, I'm trying to do something quick because it's faster, that might not be the best foundation to build your health on. Doesn't matter what the tool is we're talking about.
Does it really matter if you get somewhere faster if you don't stay there?
Right. Exactly.
It's heartbreaking.
I mean, how many times do you want to have to do this again? It's exhausting. The exhausting part is the 1 foot in, 1 foot out. When you put 2 feet in, you're golden. It becomes so much easier. And actually, it ends up faster. You end up getting there faster because you don't have to keep taking those steps back and then making up that ground that you lost.
Yep. Slow and steady wins the race. Something to remember, if there's anything I want you guys to take home from this week, it's that this journey has always been part of your life and will always be part of your life. You have been on a health journey since the day you were born. You're just now engaging in it. And you will be on this journey until the day you die. So you have a choice. The decisions that I make, are they going to last me for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years? If you're a teenager in here listening, 70 years, whatever it is, right? Or is it something that I'm doing because I want to feel better today? Your choice, no judgment, your choice, but just understand that the progress that you want to see, don't blame the results on the decisions that don't blame the results on the thing that you did. It's on the decision you make to use that thing. What do we got next? We got 10 minutes. All right, oh boy, this is a good one. We do not have enough time.
We got this. We got this.
Okay.
All right. So shout out to the cruises of the past. Perfect Day, Coco K. Had to put that
next year
in there. We'll be back there again. So waiting for perfect conditions. This is very similar to what we were talking about in regards to the analysis paralysis. But this is what I see all the time. It's, it's a crazy time. This is happening in my life. That's happening in my life.
Life happens.
I was going to say our favorite statement. Life happens. Life happened. Life is going to happen. Life is going to keep on happening, hopefully. I want life to happen, because if it's not happening, that's not a good, that means I'm somewhere else, right? So if you keep waiting for perfect conditions all around you, the clean house, the behaved kids, or they're out of town, or the spouse has gone out of town, so you can actually think and breathe for yourself. And now I have all my time to myself. And let's be real, how often does that really happen in life? How many days a year, if you were waiting for all those conditions to be perfect, would you actually take action. You could probably count it on one hand.
And this is one of the reasons why the extremes don't work. Because you've already got a lot of extremes in your life, right? Would you all agree with that? You already got a lot of stress. You got a lot of complication. You got people that you're living with or coordinating with. You got work. You got jobs. You got hobbies. You got all this other stuff you're already trying to balance, and then you want to throw some crazy life-disrupting thing that isn't just disrupting your life, but it's also disrupting the lives of everyone you interact with. It's something different and new, especially if you have a family that you're living with or taking care of, or people that you're taking care of. So the idea that things have to be perfect before is not realistic, because nothing will ever be perfect. Are we perfect beings? There's only one of those. Life is not perfect. So we have to be able to identify that small things. See how this stuff all comes together? What's that low-hanging fruit that we can do in small steps to help us deal with where we want to get, where we want to go, deal with what we're dealing with in an imperfect world? That's how this all comes together.
So instead of waiting for perfect conditions, be stronger than your environment.
This is how you take your power back. Waiting for perfect conditions is you giving everything else the power on your journey. If you want to go from point A to point B, you have to take the steps regardless of what's on the path. If you say the path is too hard, I can't do it, you have now taken the identity of someone who does not have the power to take care of their own future. And I don't think anybody wants that. Right? The biggest challenge we see is people believing that they can't do it because they keep telling themselves that they can't do it. And I'm here to tell you right now, everybody say it with me, I can. Okay? That's what this is about. You are the magic pill.
If you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them.
Yep. That's good. Yes.
So next time you hear yourself saying, either in your head or out loud to somebody else, I can't because of this, change that from a statement to a question. How can I? In spite of. That will change your life on anything. How many have ever hired an employee or supervised employees? Did your business, did your work get easier the moment you hired them? I'm looking at Chris. I knew he would feel me on that. No, at first, there's growing pains. You have to make sure they're trained and understand your business model. And there's a lot of work that goes into before it actually takes work off of your plate. It adds work to your plate. That's what our health and fitness journeys are. It's this new, scary, uncomfortable thing. And if we're waiting for things to calm down in life before we can figure it out, we'll be waiting forever. So ask yourself, how can I? Right now, in the midst of whatever's going on around me, the house burning down around me, how can I figure this out?
Yep. So I think this might be the last one. And we'll just sum it up, obviously. Have we gotten the point across? It's up to you guys. No one's coming to save you.
No one's coming to save you.
Right? Take ownership. It's your journey. The decisions that you make give you the results that you get. Think about that. The decisions that you make give you the results that you get. So be very smart and thoughtful about those decisions. Why am I doing this? Why am I interested in this? What does this information that I'm receiving actually mean for me? Okay?
So, it's time to choose between results and excuses. What will you do this week as you are listening, as you are hearing the advice, the information, the stories? What will you take from it?
while you're listening to all the information you're going to get for the rest of this week, start thinking about what your context actually is. What am I dealing with? Where am I coming from? Where am I trying to go? What's happening in my life right now? Maybe even start putting some of those things. If I had to describe myself to somebody, what are all these different things about me and my journey that I'm working through? And then listen to everybody throughout the rest of the week. What are they saying? And then match up. What are they saying? Does it apply to me? Is the person who's saying this, who is their normal patient or client? The person who's saying this, who is their normal patient or client? How does that avatar or that picture characteristic of that person that they normally talk to or work with match to me, right? If I were to work with somebody or put a bunch of recommendations out there to someone who was massively dealing with tons of medical issues, I'm not a medical expert. I can't make recommendations. I can make recommendations for people that have been following a program, that made general improvements and want to improve their fitness and quality of life. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a Dr. Tro or Dr. Lenskis. I'm not going to help try to figure out all of the different medication interactions and how you should de-prescribe your medications as you're coming onto a new diet or something like that. That's not my background, right? So anything I have to say on that topic would be irrelevant to someone.
I remember why we put this slide here. Don't change it just yet.
Yeah, okay. We're going to have to end on this.
Understanding that, and then we'll fly through the how to find us and what we have going on. But understanding that there are no carb police in the dining rooms this week. You're not going to be put in low carb jail. Some of you are here to learn and absorb and change your lives and the lives of your loved ones. Some of you are here using this conference as an excuse to take an entire week off of working on your health. Just think about that. You are surrounded by opportunities on this ship to dump your goals, dump your health, and spend the next weeks, months, maybe years trying to fix it. You can make a different choice today at your very next meal. You can choose every moment that you're on this ship to do something different right now. And you don't have to wait. The choice is yours.
On that note, just to
go to the next slide. Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
And when you get home. Because I'll tell you, you can listen to all of this and you can get motivated, and you can maybe even make a change now in the midst of being surrounded by your temptations because you're not telling yourself you can't. And if you do that, you'll be in a better position to continue that momentum going when you get home. Waiting to take action, like we talked about the perfect conditions, waiting to take action until you get home because, then I'm not going to have all this temptation around me is going to be 10 times harder because you are either going to solidify that poor health habits you already have, or you're going to strengthen a new habit. Don't wait to do that.
There is no better time to start building habits than when you are surrounded by other people who are going the same direction you are. If you are challenged, you should hopefully be at a table with other people who can say it's okay to not have something if you're struggling with whether you should or not.
And
we're all here for each other, right?
And consider that your choices may also give somebody else that open door to cheat as well.
How many people have had the cheesecake just because they saw someone else get the cheesecake? I have.
Somebody's being honest.
I know I have. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
More hands should have gone up. So,
stronger
all right.
together.
We are out of time. Together. Be stronger than your excuses.
All right, this is where to find us.
Every Sunday, East 10:45 Eastern. We're on YouTube doing the same kind of thing. Find something. Hopefully, if you haven't watched us, you go back and watch them and have a good time.
I've got a challenge coming up. You've got a promo card in your swag bags for $50 off enrollment. Sorry, gentlemen, this one is only for the ladies. We are a women-only community. But this kicks off. I'll be opening up enrollment the day after we get home from the cruise. So look out on the website for that information, and my ladies can join us for $50 off.
And then real quick, Dr. Cho, put your hand up. There he is back there. Dr. Cho and I are partnering. We're trying to raise money. How many veterans do we have in here today? Awesome. Thank you very much for your service. We are looking to raise money because we want to fund a scholarship for right now one. Hopefully we can make this a regular thing and we can start expanding it to more. But right now we want to fund a scholarship for one veteran dealing with metabolic health issues to join Dr. Cho's program at Toward Health for a year. So there's a QR code there. If you go to my website, if you have any questions about where to get that, if you want to take a picture of this screen, are these going to be available for people after? Okay, so you'll be able to get the presentation as well. So please support that.
This should just be.
And then this is just our information how to get a hold of us. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it.
Stay in touch. We love to hear from you.